Can you share with us, since this is your passion and your mission and your purpose, can you go back? Because so many people have reached out to me when I told them you were doing this show. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about your experience, your journey that you went through that brought you here? Because one of the things I talk about is we're all in the same book, we're just in different chapters.
Okay,
Now that we have the COVID, domestic violence has skyrocketed.
correct.
And I don't think people are realizing it because it's disguised under the COVID. So now we're worried about people who are dying, who have COVID. We're missing the piece of the people who are being abused in the households, children, wives, spouses, and things like that. So, can you share your story? Because you're a remarkable woman.
Well, thank you for that. Um, well, my story is when John returned from Desert Storm, he wasn't the same person, as I'm sure you've heard many spouses from the military say that. He was not debriefed. Um, and because he was not, and he was diagnosed with PTSD. PTSD at that time was not as it was serious, but they didn't have all of the resources available like they do now. You can go just about anywhere to get resources about PTSD. And so as we're going along, not the same person, I began to express how much I like, for example, this scarf. I said, wow, I really love this scarf. The next day is gone. I would purchase dinnerware and he would break them all except for three bowls, three plates, three saucers, three forks, three knives, because it was he and I and our son. And so as time went along, he had two more children, our two daughters, and he decided to get out of the military. Once he got out of the military, we had our own business. He started to entertain the female customers. You know, he was fixing more than the cars. He felt because they didn't have fathers around for their children, that he would be the surrogate father. And so I told him I wanted a divorce. And he said, why? I said, well, you're acting free. You may as well be free. That's when the real stuff started. He still had a key to the door. So he would come in the middle of the night. I could hear the key going in the lock and turning. He would come down the hallway. I would open my eyes to slither. I would watch him walk in the room, walk around the bed, lean over to listen to me breathe, stand up, and walk out of the house. He did that three times. The third time, my daughter woke up and he picks her up and says, here's Taliba, which he's not supposed to be there. So I had the locks changed. He was supposed to come over and have the locks changed for us because my son told him that I was getting the locks changed. And so you have to be careful what you tell your children when you're
Mhm.
going through a situation like that because they don't know. It's daddy and it's mommy. And so he said he would come back, but he didn't. So I had to sit in the chair, prop the chair up under the door with the knife until the locksmith came, which was a couple of days later, to fix the lock. Get one thing fixed, you notice something else is wrong. My phone stopped ringing. Picked up the receiver to make sure a dial tone was there. My friend called and said she was just calling to find out how me and the children are doing. I said, well, what number did you call? She said, well, John changed the number. I said, well, can you give me the number? She said, no, I can't give you your number. I said, why not? She said, well, I'm afraid of John. I just called to check on you like he asked me to do. And she hung up. So I called the phone company and I told them that I needed to get my number changed. They gave me a new number. As soon as I changed the number, the phone rang. And it was John. He said, who told you to change this number? I said, I don't need your permission to change my number. I hung up, called the company again, and asked for a supervisor this time. And I asked, isn't it against the law for you to change the number of a resident who doesn't live in that place? And he said yes. So they gave me a new number, put a code on it, and come to find out the way he was getting my number is he had befriended an employee at the phone company. So every time I changed my number, she would call him, give him my new number, and that's how he would be in contact with me. So then we had to have visitation with the children. and I was able to get a lifetime restraining order. However, they also included in the restraining order that he would have unsupervised visitation. So we had to find someone who would take the children from me, take them to him, and bring them back. First weekend was fine. Second weekend was my mom's birthday. He was supposed to have them back that Sunday. They didn't come back.